Greetings, welcome, namaste. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Espen Wold-Jensen. One of the first times I said that, this lady at the back of the room at the Quantum Experience live seminar that I teach started cracking up laughing. And as she was laughing really hard, and I thought to myself, I love to laugh. Please do tell what's so funny, dear sister. And she said, I thought you said S-bend like the toilet. I can assure you, dear brothers and sisters, that I'm not named after a toilet, but I invite you in this video today, named What is Awareness, to leave all your shit behind. Because now this science, this new awareness, this new practice of who we really are is available to us as a human race. There is no turning back anymore. There is no living in the shadows, but now standing on the shoulders of giants. Today I wish to talk on the topic of awareness, and the way I'll be doing this today is to be quoting some of the greatest researchers, scientists, sages, and philosophers of our time and the time before our time. And then I'm going to bring my perspective and a couple of quotes into this. And I'd wish that you sit down and be fully present and observe this and feel this. If you're not able to be fully present now, make sure you bookmark this, come back to it and watch it later. Because I truly do believe that the video that you're watching now, or will be watching at whatever point that you will be watching it, has the power to completely change your life. I truly do believe that this video is fully aligned and congruent to the universal principles of quantum physics and consciousness, and that it can serve you in a way of really bringing more love, more healing, more awareness, more consciousness, and more presence to every single area of your life. And there's 8 areas of life which you'll learn if you have a chance to come to the quantum experience that I teach all around the world. Okay, so let us begin. The question is, what is awareness? Let's go there, shall we? What is awareness? Well, firstly, to be aware is to be conscious. When I say, consciousness is awareness. So the question is, what is consciousness? What's consciousness is awareness. What is awareness? Awareness is consciousness. It is within everything all the time. So when we come to this topic of awareness, it's being aware of who we really are. So I'd like to start by asking you a question. And this question does not have a good or bad or right or wrong answer. This question is simply to objectify and quantify, to find for yourself the answers of what you truly believe. Why? Because we know that what we believe we will achieve, because all of our cells are listening. The unconscious mind is completely open to suggestion and knows not the difference from the emotion and the thought that you have to an actual event. It doesn't know the difference. It's completely open to suggestion. And of course, the unified field now proven by scientists, since Max Planck came along 70 years ago, won the Nobel Prize in quantum physics. He proved to us that the quantum field, the unified field of divine consciousness, as I refer to it, is real. And in fact, it's listening to every thought, every emotion, every pattern, every habit, every indoctrination, everything that you do all the time. So, okay, well, let's get to it. So how can we empower ourselves? How can we heal, transcend, and then really live an extraordinary life? Let me just put it this way. We can indeed do so by becoming aware. You might want to write this down, and you might probably want to go back and watch this a couple of times to be able to grasp this principle. This is something that came through me when I was teaching from stage, and I actually had to stop the seminar, and I said, thank you for being patient. And I grabbed my pen and I just started writing down this principle because, like I said, it was downloaded. I didn't think of this. It came through me as a gift. And here it is. I'll do it quickly, and then I'll go back to it and I'll do it more slowly. And then you can repeat this. That's the power of learning, right? Repeating it by watching it over and over and over again until maybe you learn it. And if you learn it to the point where you memorize it, you might be able to use it in your life. And of course, if you don't, it might be also useless. But some of you will take this to the point of really raising it to the vibration of learning it with unconscious competence, where you do not need to think about what this is, or you don't need to really use time or energy, because it's so ingrained into the nervous system that it's autonomous. Make sense? Okay, here it is. Take a big breath in and breathe out. When we are aware that we are aware, what is awareness? Out there, in here, in fact, everywhere, becomes aware that we are aware. Now that's awareness right there. One more time. When we're aware that we are aware, what is awareness? Out there and in here, everywhere, becomes aware that we are aware. Now that's awareness right there. Were you aware of that? So let's do it one more time. When we become aware that we are aware, what is awareness? Out there, in here, everywhere, becomes aware that we are aware. Now that is awareness right there. So why is that so important? Well, think about this. You've probably heard of the law of attraction, right? The law of attraction goes something like this. I want $1 million, I want $1 million, I want $1 million. That's the thought. The thought resonates and originates from the 3 higher energy centers. But let's get real. What's the emotion for most of us? I want $1 million, I want $1 million. That's the thought. The thought is, I need money to pay my bills. So now there is incoherence, there is incongruence between the thought of the mind and the emotion of the body. So now the signal to the field, which gives you back exactly what you put out, is scrambled. The signal to your body is scrambled. The signal to your unconscious mind is scrambled. So you get back the strongest signal that you're putting out, which is, of course, the emotion for most of us living in this crazy 3-dimensional world, right? So we need to create coherence between the lower energy centers of human survival and the higher energy centers of our own ontological self. There's the spiritual energy centers, capital S for self. So again, when we become aware of who we really are, this game changes. Here's the question. Take a big breath in and breathe out. If you can, close your eyes and answer this honestly for yourself. Who do you believe that you really are? Do you believe that you are simply the physical self? Do you believe that you are the body and that's it? That you are the physical self, the flesh and bone? Do you believe that the people that you love are simply physical in nature? Do you think, do you believe, do you feel, do you trust that this world is only the physical self and what you can touch and feel with your 5 senses? Or do you believe that inside of you there is some sort of a spirit, some sort of a soul? If you believe that there's a spirit or a soul within you, and then maybe in your children or your loved one there's some sort of a spirit or a soul, or maybe you even believe that somewhere out there in this vast universe there is some sort of intelligence governing all things within us and around us. Which of those 2 do you believe? Choose now. Thank you. Let's move on. So the first thing is, I asked you if you believe that you're physical. If you believe that you're physical, you believe in the limited world, because the physical reality of Newtonian physics, Newton's law of physical reality, states that everything is separated because they cannot physically be in the same space. So if you believe that you simply are the physical, then you believe in a limited, restricted world. And I'm not saying it's good or bad or right or wrong. I'm saying what you believe you will achieve. You might want to take a note on that. If we go into the incredible vast body of epigenetics from the 1960s, when Dr. Bruce Lipton discovered that we have control over our genes, that we're not limited or victims of our history, but rather masters of our destiny. It's been discovered since he was the first in the world to do stem cell research in the 1960s, and it still stands the test of time. So think about this. If you believe in the physical self, then you believe in something limited. You don't want to try to heal and empower yourself from a very limited perspective. You know, it's such a waste of potential. But if you believe that you're the spiritual or the energetic self, and that there's some sort of intelligence within you and around you, if you believe and identify with who you really are, the higher self with a capital S, if you believe that, well, you are limitless, my friend. And now, thanks to the incredible science of quantum physics, we've been able to quantify and to prove. This is so powerful. I'm not a quantum physicist. I studied neuroscience. I've got 3 degrees in science. I've been addicted to finding the secrets of the universe since I was a little child. Now, listen, Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. This is why the Quantum Experience live event specifically leverages the wisdom of the ages in today's world, so we can raise our awareness, raise our vibration, raise our frequency, raise our consciousness, raise our levels of love, and come home to the truth of who we really are, limitless beings of love and light. So let's bring us back. So what does quantum physics tell us about this limitless field? Well, the truth of the matter, and we're still talking on awareness. Remember, when we are aware that we are aware, that's the first step. So we see in quantum physics simple sciences, such as being able to quantify quantum physics. Now, no, it doesn't sound simple, but it really is simple. The universe is the secrets of the universe are in fact simple. It's just that they're so in front of our nose. The empowerment, the healing, the transformation has been there all along. But because we have reduced our awareness down from the higher centers of pure awareness down into the lower centers of the human three-dimensional, which means physical experience, we are blinded to the truth. But the truth will set us free. You know it will. When I let go of fear, the truth will appear so simple and clear. Ha! It's been there all along, man. So let's get real. What does quantum physics say? What does science say about awareness? What does science say about you? What does science say about me? What does science really prove about the nature of reality? Well, in essence, to shorten it, summarize it, modern science has proven that beneath the surface level of what seems to be separated things, you and I, your hand versus your heart, is the deeper world of the molecule. You've heard of a molecule, right? And the atom. And then below there, the nucleus. And then below, meaning below then, nuclear levels, below the nucleus, levels of nature's function. And at the core of creation, listen carefully, my dear friend, at the core of creation is scientifically found what is the fulfillment of Einstein's lifelong theory to finally be able to quantify and discover a single unified source of all the diverse laws of the universe. Now, science has proven, I know, isn't that crazy? Feel into that. A single unified source, a unified presence, a unified consciousness, a unified awareness expressed through all physical matter. Now, therein lies the power of this conversation, for you to become aware of who you really are and then to practice. What's that? Practice. Listen, practice consciousness. Most of our students in the advanced seminar come back regularly, at least every 2 times a year. Why? Because it's a practice. Consciousness, awareness, love, healing, ascension is a practice. It's useless unless you practice. You don't learn a new language. You don't learn playing an instrument unless you practice, right? So why don't we practice consciousness? Because we're becoming more conscious as a species. Let's be ahead of the curve. Let's not lag through the painful parts of inertia. Let's be ahead of the curve as conscious beings, leading this generation, this birth of a new civilization of conscious awakened beings. So science, when it comes to understanding the nature of reality, has proven that, listen, you want to take a note on this, 99.99999999, a lot more nines, 99.9% of you, 99.9% of your body, of everything within you and around you, 99.9% is pure space, not physical. Pure space. Now, some people call that space nothingness. Other people call it everythingness. And of course, what we believe we will, you better comment that in the section or else, what we believe we will achieve. because all of our cells, our unconscious mind, and the quantum field is listening. So when we understand and we get to the core of creation, if I take your hand, if I take any part of you and I put it under a strong, powerful microscope, at the core of creation, at the bottom of who you are, is 99.9% pure consciousness, ladies and gentlemen. Pure consciousness. Can you begin to grasp the vastness of your power? Can you begin to grasp the vastness of your potential, of your love, of your healing now? Can you begin to see? And I mean, past the veil of illusion, can you begin to see, and I mean really see with your first eye, all-seeing eye? Can you begin to see the power of who you really are? Of how much love you have within? Of how much service and contribution you can give to the world? Of how frequently and powerfully you can pierce the veil of fearful illusion and know that you are a spiritual being in spiritual training for ascension. You are here in this time, in this place, right now, to become who you really are, to experience the human experience, but not of this world, but rather just in this world. It's two very, very different paradigms. So bring it. Let's bring it back to the awareness. What is awareness? What is awareness? Well, awareness is you. Awareness is a fundamental, natural, congruent part of the higher you, the higher self. So let's get real. When you look at an experiment, you want to look this experiment up. Let me talk on awareness for a second, because this is going to just bust it right open. This changes everything. And then, by the way, if you're watching, I want you to share this with at least 10 people. Not for my benefit, but for the world's benefit. At least 10 people. Because we need, thank you for all the love, we need this message to hit the masses and hit it quick. Because what's happening in this world needs to change. And it is changing. You go back 200 and something years, we used to have slaves in our houses. We thought that was normal. You go back 350 years and it was okay to think that the church was right and science was right, and anyone that dared say against the church got burnt alive at the stake. 200 years from now, people look at us and go, what the heck were they doing? Right? So let's get real. We are becoming more conscious. Share this video. You need to share this video because we need to help people awaken and come home to the truth of who we really are. The truth of love and light, not the victimization of the separation of the three-dimensional physical world of survival. That's not who we are. That's not what's coming. That's not our future. That's not our destiny. So share this video, please. So when we look at awareness, what is awareness? Well, when I become aware that I am aware, what is awareness? Out there, in here, everywhere, becomes aware that I'm aware. Now that's awareness right there. So let's take that back, right back. Let's have a look. Here we go. Ready? Take a big breath in. Boom, here we go. What is awareness? Well, awareness is who I really am. I am awareness. Awareness sits at the higher energy centers, okay? And awareness gives us a chance to become who we really are by seeing things the way they actually are, piercing the veil of illusion, piercing the veil of separation. So when we are separated, we see things as separate to us. We see our neighbor, our people, our work, and everything in energy around us, we see it as separate to us, but it's not. It's a projection of our consciousness. One more time. Everything you perceive within you and around you is a projection of your consciousness. Everything you perceive within you and around you is a projection of your consciousness. If something's persisting because you resisted it, it's persisting because you haven't been able to bring enough love to it. So if there's something that's not loved enough, or a lesson you haven't learned, I believe the quantum field is going to serve you that lesson in your human experience until you awaken to the truth of who you really are. So what does science really say about this? Well, science has proven this. Let me give you an example. Everything around you is a projection of you, and when we understand that, it changes. Because I'm writing a book at the moment with a ghostwriter, which is helping me write it, and the book is called The Quantum Experience. It's about having a quantum experience that many of you might be feeling right now. And this quantum experience really just culminates in the living of who we really are, living the life as awakened beings. And I was talking on desire. This here is the Hawkins scale of consciousness. You might want to look this up. This is the quantum coaching book that from the quantum coaching program that we teach. Excuse me. Desire vibrates at 125 hertz. Okay, that's a very low vibration. To give you some context, fear vibrates at 100 hertz. Okay, love vibrates at 528 hertz, and so on and so forth. And of course, the higher enlightenment is, high hertz, 700,000 hertz and up. So desire, wanting something, it vibrates at 125 hertz. If you want something and you say, I want something, what you're putting out is that you want something. I want a new car. I want a better relationship. I want more money. I want my children to be healthy. I want. All right? 125 hertz. That's not the way to gain access to what you want, because it's projecting into the unconscious mind, to the body, and to the quantum field that gives us back exactly what we project out, that we don't have it yet. Did you get that? So if you're saying, I desire this, I want that, you're projecting really, the emotion is saying, I don't have it yet, but I want it. So you're not going to get it because you're projecting that you don't have it. Is that making sense? So rather, you must raise your awareness from 125 hertz of I want this, projecting that you don't have it, to that of the heart, which is 528 hertz. And the simple thing you need to do is to cultivate gratitude. Because when you start cultivating gratitude, you get more things to be grateful for. Gratitude, you might want to write this down. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. So one more time, a quote that I'm putting in the book, and again, you might want to write this down, is we cannot sustainably have what we're not willing or able to become vibrationally. So if you cannot vibrate at the frequency of having it, if you're not able to alter your energy to vibrate at that frequency, remember, energy, frequency, and vibration is the secrets to the universe, then you cannot have it sustainably. So how can we then raise our awareness? How can we then really change this game? Well, it's really simple. I heard a story once. Buddha, at the live seminar, The Quantum Experience, I tell the story of God having a conversation with man. This is a different story, so listen carefully. Bear with me. The Buddha is having a conversation with man, and the conversation is really simple. Man sees Buddha, and he walks up to Buddha, and he says, Buddha, I want to be happy. Simple, right? Sounds simple. Buddha, I want to be happy. Buddha simply smiles and looks at man and says, first remove the I, for that is the ego. Then remove the want, for that is desire. And all you're left with is happiness. You see, happiness is a vibration. Happiness is a frequency. If you want to become happy, remove the ego, remove the desire, and desire is 125 hertz on the Hawkins scale of consciousness. And all you're left with is happiness. So let us come back to what science says about this. Let us really look at, okay, Dr. Espen, I get it. Okay, I get it. I get the concepts. And many of you will be like, holy crap, this is, I'm going to watch this again, right? But let me just put it this way. I'm a scientist, right? So when I understand the secrets of the universe, this when I first embodied this after my brother died when I was 5 and my sister was born handicapped, I started asking some questions. Started asking the questions, who are we really? What does it mean to be alive and well? And what does it mean to truly live? We can't live a true experience if we don't know who we really are. How limitless, how beautiful, how powerful we are. The higher spiritual self drawn into the physical experience to be that experience in this time, not of this world, but in it. So what does science say about awareness? I was about to drop the F-bomb. I'm just going to say this. This is insane. This is so powerful. This is so ridiculous. And this is scientific evidence for what I'm sharing with you right now. I'm so grateful. And again, my quote, When we become aware that we are aware, what is awareness? Out there and in here, in fact, everywhere, becomes aware that we are aware. That is awareness right there. Were you aware of that? Well, now you're getting there, right? So let's look at it. Science did a study. It's called the double slit experiment. If you want to understand this study, just go to YouTube, type in Dr. Quantum, double slit, S-L-I-T, experiment. Dr. Quantum, double slit experiment, and you'll see this now. Listen, this is mind-blowing. Again, if you're watching and you haven't shared yet, I'm still waiting to see you share this with 10 people. So I'm asking you as a conscious leader to share this with the world, because the world needs this right now. There are people out there that are suffering unnecessarily because they don't know the truth. Okay? Please share this with 10 people. There's an experiment called the double slit experiment. Now, this has been quoted in many sciences for a very long time. This experiment has been done over and over again thousands of times, and the scientists still find the same result every single time. This is mind-blowing. Okay, so the double slit experiment says that, according to Max Planck, the founder of quantum physics, right? He said, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Dr. Wayne Dyer, the late great Dr. Wayne Dyer, quoted that as well over and over again. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Now, with awareness, listen, with awareness, not just the thought of something, but the emotion that you feel about it, wholeheartedly, deeply seated rooted in the physical body. That's what most of us are unaware of. That's what we get back. We put out through thought and emotion, meets at the heart space, which is the feeling. It should be like that, but for most, it's not like that. It's incoherent, it's incongruent. So Max Planck said, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Now, the double slit experiment proves, have a look at this, that when we send electrons, okay, there's a little cannon, we send these electrons, we send it across, and we send it through a wall like this, a plate, and the plate has two slits, okay? It has two gaps in it, two lines through it. It's called the double slit experiment, okay? And the electrons are sent through there. When we are not observing this process, okay? When we're not observing this process, the electrons would create like a wave-like function and would land randomly at any place. So there's no structure to it, okay? So when we're not observing, when we're sending electrons through this, from this gun, this cannon, sending electrons, and we don't observe it, they land completely randomly. Now, they did this hundreds of times, and then they realized something. They realized that, hang on, when we observe it, when we do what? When we observe it, it changes where it lands. One more time. They're sending these electrons through a wall that has two holes in it, two slits in it. When the electron goes through, it interferes with itself, it separates, and it just lands randomly. But when we're observing it, it lands in two perfect slits. So let me say that one more time. When we're sending electrons through these two slits and nothing's observing, it would create a wave function and it would land anywhere randomly. But when we observe it, when the scientist would observe the experiment, the electrons would land in two perfect slits. Is if as the electron was aware that it was being observed. And here's the bottom line. The question is, what is awareness? Awareness is consciousness. Consciousness is you. And awareness is aware when you are aware. Awareness is also aware when you are not aware. And that is the topic of this conversation. So let's raise the vibration up and let's get freaking real on what this means to you in your life. Okay, is that okay? Because now we are getting really deep. We are getting an opportunity to stand on the shoulders of not just giants in science, but in art and philosophy. The sages, the yogis, the wise men and women before our time, the magicians. So again, when we observe something, we know this. If we're observing something, I mean, Dr. Emoto in Japan did this work with water. They would put water in two different containers. They would talk to water in a harmful way. They would say, "Stop you," and "You're ugly," and "I hate you," to water over here. And they would say loving, beautiful things to water over here, right? And the structure of the water changed, and they could take pictures of this. It's the work of Dr. Emoto in Japan. They could take pictures of it. They could see that structurally the water changed based on the way it was observed. Are you with me still? So, did the same thing with plants. One plant over here, you say, "I hate you, you're ugly," to the plant over here. "I love you, you're so beautiful," to the plant over here. The plant that you're talking negatively to dies and gets sick. The soil gets rotten and breaks down, and the plant over here grows. We know this. We've seen this. Okay, so come on. If we are to awaken as a human species, if we are to awaken into a place of love and light, if we are to save this planet while we still have a chance, if we are to really live magnificent lives, just change the way we're observing something. Do the work on ourselves. Come to seminars like the Quantum Experience and do the work for yourself to upgrade the emotion from the lower vibrations of fear at 100 hertz to the higher vibrations of love and light of 528 hertz and above. This is a practice. Consciousness and awareness is a practice. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes energy. It takes time. It takes dedication for you to do this work on you. But what's the byproduct? The byproduct is we live in a state of fear, in a state of separation, in a state of destruction. As human beings, we have the awareness and the science now. Over 300 years, science comes together to prove who we really are. So now we look at the quantum slit experiment that proves that when and how we see something changes the way, when we change the way we see it, it changes the outcome. When I change the way I look at things, the things I look at change. Listen, this means that if you look at let me do an extreme example. If you look at your children from a place of anger, your children will physically, structurally, energetically change. Do you get it? If you look at yourself with lack of love, lack of awareness of your spiritual higher self, if you look at yourself with lack of self-worth, you get sick. You get it? If you look at any of the 8 areas of life and you don't bring more love and awareness and light to it, that area of life breaks down because of the way you're feeling about it, because of the way you're observing it. Is this making sense? So you have the power, the wisdom, and the beauty of the entire universe within you at your disposal, because it is who you really are. 99.9% of who you really are is pure awareness. You have this available to you if you choose to do this work. But of course, all of this conversation, all of the quantum experience curriculum that I teach is a waste of freaking time unless you apply. So if we come to see that we are in fact spiritual beings having a human experience, we can draw that wisdom down. We can begin to live in the magic of the moment. Einstein said there's 2 ways to live our lives. One is that nothing's a miracle, and 2 is that everything's a miracle. It's up to you to make that choice, to dedicate yourself to what's truly important for you and your life and for your children and for your business and your company and for your livelihood and your well-being. It's up to you to walk the path, to practice consciousness. So now that the double slit experiment has proved that when we look at something in a different way, it changes, would it not be so simple to realize that when we go back in time and we upgrade the indoctrinations and the suffering and the thoughts and the emotion and the limiting beliefs and the indoctrinations that we've been led to believe to be true that stems from the imprint period in childhood, and we can go back in time and upgrade that to a higher vibration. Now we begin to see, listen, with your first eye open, your all-seeing eye, now you begin to see, and I mean really see, the way things actually are. And when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. So this now is available to us. Hang on, are you saying that science has proven that I can alter the frequency and vibration of the way I'm observing something? 100%, yes, if you do the work. Are you also saying that when I change the state that I'm in, and I raise my vibration and I create coherence between the thought in the top 3 energy centers and the emotion in the 3 lower energy centers, and I bring the thought and the feeling into the heart, boom, and I come from the heart space, that I can change the things I look at, that I can change, the people that I observe, the health of my children, can I affect it? Yes, you can. Can you affect your financial well-being? Yes, you can. Can you affect anything and everything? Yes, you can, if you do the work. Listen, when I become aware that I am aware, what is awareness out there, in here, everywhere becomes aware that I'm aware, then I raise the vibration and I pierce through the veil of illusion. I pierce through the three-dimensional world that seems that this is a book. This is not a book, ladies and gentlemen. This is 99.99999% pure consciousness. So when I come from a place of pure consciousness, love and light, and I raise my vibration and I do this work enough, I will create that change in the field. And exactly what I put out, all of my cells, 70 trillion cells. Listen, you have about 70, 50 to 100, about 70 trillion cells in your body. And each cell has an estimated 6 trillion actions per cell per second, according to the incredible Dr. Deepak Chopra. That's 70 trillion cells, 6 trillion actions per cell per second. Okay? All of those cells are listening to your thoughts, to your emotions. Are you with me? So the key to your own ascension, which means raising your vibration, is to become aware of exactly what you're thinking, exactly what you're feeling, exactly who you really are, what's happening around you and within you in all times. And that's what we teach. That's important, because when you get awareness, you understand awareness. And when you are aware that you are aware, awareness is aware that you are aware, and that's awareness right there. Then you raise your vibration, and then you come from a place of love. I've got a question for you. Is there more love? Yes, of course. There is always more love. Is there more love, though? Can you love more, though? More than that again? Of course. That's who you are. I teach my students that the belief, the wholehearted belief that when our heart beats inside our chests, over 100,000 times every day, our heart beats inside of our chest. Every time it beats, it says to us and to the world around us, thank you, I love you, thank you, I love you, thank you, I love you. Now remember, we cannot sustainably have what we're not willing or able to become vibrationally. This changes everything. So I invite you to come on a journey with us. I invite you to come on a journey from the head to the heart. I invite you to share with at least 10 people this video. You see, up until now, most of us have believed that we are physical beings. And even if we believe that maybe there is a spirit, we've still lived a physical experience. But we are not that experience. We are the soul, the state of unconditional love. And when we can bring ourselves to that place, and we can become aware that we are aware, awareness, consciousness, spirit, source, becomes aware that we are aware. Now that is awareness right there. I hope this video has served you. Thank you for allowing yourself to stay present while my cleaner's running around in the back and listening to me as I talk so slowly. The bottom line is that I just created this video for you to really see how beautiful, how powerful, and how much potential you actually have. You are limitless. You truly are limitless. So let us meet at the heart space. Share this with the people that you love. And I can't wait to see you at the quantum experience, the live experience where you learn this. And then the quantum advanced, where you do 2 days of this work, where you actually learn to become who we really are again. All right, lots of love. Dr. Espen saying, I'm aware that I'm aware of you. I'm aware that I'm aware of my emotions and my thoughts, and I send you so much love and awareness right now. All right? Talk to you guys soon. Laters.